Hi guys, so it's me. I haven't made a video in, quite some time, so I figured I would just make one. I was just going to talk about my Big Time Rush experience. Day 1, I did get to meet them 2 days in a row, which was so awesome. Well, let's get started. So, when I first got there, it was kind of weird because I just kind of walked in there because I had to pee really bad, and I heard Victoria Justice practicing. She wasn't doing sound check or anything. She was just practicing on the stage. So I went to the bathroom, and as I was coming out, she was coming in. We just kind of stared at each other and then she was like, "Hey." It's like, "Hey." So we look alike. So it was just weird. It was like we were staring at ourselves. It was very, very strange. So yeah, that happened. And then I found these other people, and I was like, "Hey, are you guys going to the Big Time Rush concert?" And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Do you know where we go?" I'm like, "Well, we just asked some guys," so I just followed them. And then we stood in this place, and we were the first 3 people there. So now I got there about an hour early. So I just kind of stood there for an hour, and then I was the first person to get my ticket, and Dustin was handing out the tickets. And I was so excited to meet Dustin because I've never met Dustin before. And I heard that he's really, really awesome, so I was super excited to meet Dustin. And he was like, "Hey." He's like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Driscoll." He's like, "With a D?" And I said, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm Driscoll, like the strawberries," because for those of you who don't know, Driscoll is a brand of berries. We have organic and non-organic berries, but a lot of people don't know what that is, or the finest berries in the world. I don't make any profit from it. I just happen to have the same last name as Driscoll, so yeah, I was like, "Yeah, it's like the strawberry." And he was like, then I'm standing in line for sound check, and of course people are trying to cut and run when we're walking down a sound check. But I was in the first row, so that was really, really awesome. And so when we get out to sound check, they asked a couple questions. A fan asked if they would rather have one giant horse-sized duck, or would they rather fight 50 duck-sized horses. And they all said duck-sized horses because they'd be super cute. But Kendall said that he would just kick them around and beat them if. So James asked if we wanted to hear Music Sounds Better With You, and no one said anything. And I felt really bad. I was like, "Oh." And he's like, "Wow, okay." And then they were talking about the Megalodon because it's Shark Week. And for those of you guys who haven't watched Shark Week or just don't know what that is, it's this legend. Well, actually, it did exist at one point, but it's 100-foot shark. They couldn't actually prove it was there, but it did exist. But only 8% of the ocean is explored, so they asked how many of us believed it. I believe in it. I think it's still down there somewhere. But yeah, so that happened, and they sang another song, and then we went to go get pictures taken. And I was one of the first people out there. I was like, and then Dustin was there. He lets people in, and he was like, "So, are you having a good time so far?" I was like, "I am." It's like, "Are you enjoying yourself?" And he goes, "I am." And I'm just so nervous. I'm just in my own little world. And Dustin's telling me go ahead 3 times, and I'm just standing there okay, I wasn't actually this. I was in my mind. But yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Just in my own little world here." So I walk up to him, and James was like, "Hey, sweetie." I was like, "Hey, I'm Alexis." And the guys were all like, "Alexis?" And I was like, "Yeah." And Kendall goes, "Alexis," emphasizing on the is, because it's not like Alexa or Alex or anything like that. It's Alexis. And I was like, "Yeah, like Texas." And then one of them asked me, "Are you from Texas?" I was like, "No, I wish." I was like, "I could just sit around and eat barbecue food, listen to country music. That's the life." But as I was saying that, the effing lady just takes my picture. So I was mid-sentence, and ooh. And so after she took my picture, I just kind of sat there And I looked at them like, did this lady just take my picture without a countdown? And then Logan laughed. He's like, oh, come on, we gotta take one more. I was like, and I was like, you know what? I just can't handle this. I cannot handle the fact that that picture is going to be on the internet where people can see it. So then they laughed and we took our picture, and oh, yeah, and so then Logan called me cutie. He's like, you're such a cutie. I was like, I love you. Well, I didn't say that, but I thought it. And then Kendall told me that I had a pretty face, or a pretty name for a pretty girl, and I was like, thank you. But yeah, so then I hugged James first, and he was so muscular. Melts my little heart. And then I hugged Logan, and then I hugged Kendall, and I forgot about Carlos. It just blew. So, yeah, Carlos didn't get a hug, and I felt really bad. But I was just too upset that that lady took my picture, okay? Just took it, and I wasn't ready, and... Okay, so the pictures are up there now, and I'm so thankful that they didn't put the first picture up there, because I just can't handle that. I probably, because I threw a fit, I was just... Yeah. So, I'm just glad that picture isn't up there, but the picture... Oh my gosh, it kills me. Because they look so perfect, and Kendall looks so happy. And he told me that I was hilariously awesome when I gave him my hug at the very end. It's like... So yeah. So Kendall told me I had a pretty face for a pretty girl, and he told me I was hilariously awesome. But yeah, my picture, which I will post, and now... You look so precious. Okay. That's how I really feel on the inside. I may not act that dramatic about it, but that's how I truly feel. I was in freaking row U, which, for those of you who don't know, that's the very last row for VIP. So, I was kind of back there. I was like in row 20. The openers were really good. Olivia and Jackson were really good. Victoria was good. And then Big Time Rush was absolutely amazing. Run Wild was so good live. It's just one of those songs where it's just like... It's so much better live than it is on the album, and that's really hard to do, so kudos to you, Big Time Rush. But yeah, during We Are, they did come out into the crowd, and I got a video of it, and Kendall came like right by my little section here, and I was like the 5th person like in my row, so I didn't get like that close to him. I was on like the very edge where they were walking down. But Kendall starts to give the people in my row a hug, and he reaches out his arm just a little bit more so I could go in there. I was like, and I do have that on video. You can kind of see his arm reach out just a little bit more for me. I was like, so yeah, that was the moment that I died. But I was just far back there, so that's why the camera quality is really crappy. But I will also put in the We Are part 2, so keep an eye out for that, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll see ya tomorrow. Lights on and hold them above your head.